You can almost hear it, that low, menacing hum of a Tomahawk missile slicing through the night sky. Now imagine that sound coming from Ukraine, headed toward Russian targets hundreds of miles away. That's the future President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky could be setting in motion when they meet at the White House this Friday. And if it happens, it could rewrite the entire playbook of this war. Here's the breaking point. The U.S. is considering giving Ukraine Tomahawk cruise missiles, the same long-range weapons America has used to strike enemies from Syria to Yemen and even Iranian facilities this year. We're talking about missiles that can travel up to 1,500 miles. Fast, precise, and devastating. To put that in perspective, that's like firing a missile from New York City all the way to Oklahoma City. If approved, this would instantly place Moscow within striking distance, a move that could send shockwaves through the Kremlin. Trump hinted earlier this month that he might send them, but not before talking to Russia. His exact words, "Do they want Tomahawks going in their direction? I don't think so." That's classic Trump. Blunt, strategic, and always with a hint of warning. He's framing it as leverage, a message to Moscow that if peace don't move forward, America might just hand Ukraine the most powerful deep strike weapon in its arsenal. But make no mistake, if those Tomahawks reach Kyiv, this war changes overnight. Tomahawks aren't your average missile. They're 18 feet long, weigh nearly 3,000 pounds, and cost $1.3 million each. Traditionally launched from U.S. Navy ships and submarines, the Army only recently built land-based launchers called Typhoon systems. Something Ukraine would need too. And here's where things get tricky. Sending those launchers and missiles would drain America's own stockpiles, something Pentagon officials are already nervous about. Still, the potential payoff is enormous. Ukraine could hit deep inside Russian territory, crippling supply hubs, command centers, even air bases that once felt untouchable. Right now, only a handful of U.S. allies even have these weapons. The UK, Japan, Australia, and the Netherlands. Japan just bought 400 of them for over $2 billion. That's how valuable and rare this technology is. If Ukraine joins that list, it's not just another weapons deal. It's America openly signaling that Kyiv is being treated as a frontline ally in the defense of Western freedom. And that message won't go unnoticed in Moscow or Beijing. Until now, Ukraine's longest reach came from US-supplied ATACMS missiles, with a max range of around 190 miles. Even Britain's Storm Shadow and France's Scalp missiles top out around 150 miles. So if ye think those made an impact, imagine a weapon that travels 5 to 10 times farther with pinpoint accuracy. That's what's on the table right now. A tool that could strike fear deep into Russia's heart and possibly push Putin to rethink his every next move. But it's not just about missiles. It's about what America stands for. Freedom, defense, and the promise that smaller nations don't stand alone when tyranny knocks at their door. It's about showing strength without losing our humanity. Because every weapon we send isn't just metal, it's a message. That peace sometimes demands power. And if this deal goes through, it might be the boldest move yet in America's ongoing balance between peace and deterrence. So, will Trump really hand over Tomahawks, or use the idea as a masterstroke of negotiation? One thing's for sure, this meeting could mark a new chapter in the Ukraine war. One where silence in the skies no longer means safety. Because once those engines ignite, the sound of freedom carries far.